The Strength card. If you have followed me for a while, I used to hate this card. Hate it. I hated pulling it. It would always come out of my deck and I'd be like, oh great, here we go again. Time to be strong, trying to do the damn thing, even though you don't want to. In the beginning of the year, I wrote an essay on my Substack about how this card came up for me in a really tough season of depression and how I was learning to be with the beast, not trying to change it, but just be with it, right? And the beast is always you, right? You are this person and you also are this person. You are both. And I pulled this card this week and I'm finding it very funny and interesting because it's making me not hate this card so much. But also, I'm at this really weird point in my life. I had a lot of recent changes, but in my healing work, not a lot has changed. And I'm not sure what to do next, right? And like I wanna do this work. I wanna help people heal themselves and like create a life that they love. I want them to be able to like genuinely love themselves and have a relationship with their eternal self and their bodies, like their physical self as well. And I'm just not quite sure what to do. And so this week I've just kind of been sitting in that energy and not like forcing it in any one direction. And I've just been kind of watching it. And my eternal self or my higher self is kind of being like this guiding teacher, but isn't taking like full control. Like sometimes in the spirituality space, you give your eternal self full reign, right? Maybe you're working with deities and you give the deities full reign to do whatever fucking is in your highest good, right? But we often forget that you are still human. And there has to be this play or this balance of your eternal self, your spirituality, your intuition, but also your human self, because you're here, man. You can't just be in the ether, as fun as it is, right? And if you want your life to truly evolve, you can't just be in the 3D ego-centric reality, right? There has to be a balance. And I've been watching myself in this space, and I can feel my human self kind of getting antsy, right? Not really sure what to do. And my eternal self is being like, okay, just be a little patient. It's interesting you had that feeling and that reaction, right? Did you see that? Okay, let's just wait and see. Then the human self, me, waits and sees. We sit with it, we examine it, and then I'll get an intuitive drop from my eternal self, right? A little nugget of some goodness, a little breadcrumb. And then my human self will be like, oh, okay, I got it, thank you. And then the human self will do something else. And then the eternal self is like, okay, you did that. How are you feeling? Feeling great, I think. The eternal self just watches and gently guides, but also the human self is waiting for cues without feeling the need to push or the need to pull or the need to force. It's been this really delicate balance. So I kind of had to laugh when I pulled the Strength card, because that is exactly what this is, right? The woman in this card is representing the eternal self. This is you. This is me. The beast, sometimes seen as a tiger, is also you. It's also you. This is me, and also this is me. And how are you going to play with those two dynamics? How are you going to allow them to coexist? Because they I'm not going to say they need to coexist. You don't have to make them coexist. But if you are trying to move forward in your life, if you're trying to make changes in your life, there needs to be that balance. They need to coexist.